The search for a missing 2-year-old logger boy continues on Tuesday. A Florida Amber Alert remains in effect for Jordan Belliveau, age 2. The boy was last seen Saturday night, according to his mother, and her name is Cherise Stinson. Her first name is spelled Charisse, Stinson, Stinson. She told police she and her son were given a ride by a stranger named Antoine. Okay? And you guys will see the sketch of that person on the screen here shortly in a little bit, okay? Well, I guess anyway. Stinson said Antoine punched her in the head during the ride and she woke up in Largo City Park and her son was missing. On Tuesday, crews will continue their search near buildings. They also will search inside and around trash containers. Monday's day-long search of a pond behind an apartment building did not reveal anything. So on Monday, Largo Police Major Stephen Slaughter said investigators recovered bloody clothes from inside the apartment Cherise Stinson shares with her son on East Bay Drive in Largo. Now, during a news conference on Tuesday, he clarified that the statement that said investigators found bloody items and Jordan had suffered a cut that required stitches. Slaughter said he thought that the boy had fallen but was not sure. Largo police released a sketch late Monday of a man who gave Stinson and her son a ride. They also released a stock picture of a white Camry with a white grille described by the mother as Antoine's car. All right. Hopefully everybody's following that so far. Stinson and the boy's father, Jordan Belliveau Sr., both have a long-standing history of domestic violence. According to police report filed July 14th, when police arrested the father for punching Stinson in the mouth. That is not good. Now, according to the report, he had brought Jordan back to exchange custody, and she told him she didn't want the child yet, and an altercation ensued. I'm gonna read that part again. According to a report, the father had brought Jordan back to exchange custody, and she told him she didn't want the child back yet, and an altercation ensued. That's important. Please put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. Police say that the domestic violence cases and a recent investigation by child protective investigators are part of the missing child inquiry. At this point, all factors are considered, all factors are reviewed, Slaughter said. Police say they have received 40 tips from the public, but none have resulted in any specific leads. They say that the father has an alibi and the mother is cooperating. Investigators have not asked her to take a polygraph test to support her story of being knocked unconscious by a stranger who was known as Antoine, who she believes abducted Jordan. Now, Largo police made a plea for the public's help to find the little boy and said this case is now part of a task force investigation by the multi-agency child abduction response team. They quote this: "We're going to keep at it and we're not going to get discouraged and we're not going to stop," said Largo Police Major Stephen Slaughter. Now, authorities released the following description of Jordan Belliveau. And here we go, because you guys will see those pictures floating across the screen here in a little bit. Let me move this so I can kind of see what you guys are looking at, okay? So here we go. If I can get this back up on the screen, here we go. Jordan Belliveau is a black male, and he's 2 foot 6 inches because he's only 2 years old, right there. Weighs 30 pounds and has short brown hair and brown eyes. He has a partially healed cut on the underside of his chin and a birthmark on the right side of his stomach. Jordan was wearing a blue shirt with 72 on the front, blue gym shorts with a black and white stripe, black socks, and a black and white Nike sneakers. Now, on the far right hand side of that photo right there is the father. The mother's on the left and the little boy is in the middle. Okay. Now, authorities released the following description of the man who may go by the name Antoine, and I'll show you guys his sketch here in a moment. He's supposedly around age 26, supposedly has brown hair, brown eyes, gold teeth, dreadlocks, wearing black basketball shorts with an And One logo and a white tank top. Now, police are asking all residents residing along the East Bay Drive corridor between Belcher Road and Missouri Avenue to review any privately held security footage that may have captured the suspect. And they left information for you guys to contact the police and all of that stuff. But guess what? It is not necessary. You know why it's not necessary? Because they found the little boy. So if you guys have not found that information out yet, they've already found the little boy. Okay? Here's the kicker. Here's part 2 of the story. So if you guys haven't already caught that from the thumbnails that are scrolling across the screen right there, here we go. The mother of the 2-year-old Largo boy who was the center of a statewide Amber Alert. Let me just pause that part. How about we do this? How about I go ahead and let you guys hear the news story? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the fair usage, and then I'm going to let you guys listen to the news story yourself. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our first story. Here we go. Now, but keep in mind, guys, this is part 1.
Right now, investigators are asking for your help in the search for 2-year-old Jordan Belliveau from Largo, who has been missing since Saturday. An Amber Alert was issued on Sunday. Police are looking for any personal surveillance video from houses in that area. It is right around where Jordan was last seen with his mother when she says they were offered a ride by a man. She claims that man knocked her unconscious, and when she came to, she was alone in Largo Central Park. Police say they have her on surveillance video walking through the park, and it matches up with the timeline of events. Today, we're told investigators will continue to search areas around the mother's apartment and in the park. Yesterday, they said they found bloodied items inside her apartment, but they are not saying at this point if they have any connection to this case. Police maintain the mother's story of what happened still holds up, and that the cuts to her face are consistent with the story that she was hit.
Nothing's changed in terms of how we're investigating this case.
And how she be undergoing a polygraph test?
We have not done that. We haven't asked her to do one. I feel that she has answered all our questions so that we can continue our investigation.
And what is the department?
Police also continue to look for the man in this sketch who Jordan's mother claims knocked her unconscious. They believe his name is Antoine and say he could be driving in a white Toyota Camry.
I want you guys to keep that picture in your head right there, okay? That one. Here's the next part. This is still part 1.
Our top story at 5:30. Police want you to be on the lookout for the man in this sketch right there. They think that he kidnapped this toddler in Pinellas County over the weekend.
An Amber Alert is out for 2-year-old Jordan Belliveau. It's now going into its 3rd day. ABC Action News reporter Adam Weiner is live at the family's home. Adam, police searched inside the family's home. Any idea what they were looking for or what they found?
Well, they found something that really caught their attention. They found bloody items inside the family's house. Now, they're not saying exactly what they found this blood on, and they're not saying that this blood for sure belongs to Jordan. It is something, though, that caught their attention over the weekend, and we were here this weekend as they put some of those items into evidence bags and collected them as evidence from the family's home.
Now, A just said something. She said the sketch looks like the mother, but I'm going to tell you something. The mother was the one who gave the description. Keep that in mind.
But police are not calling Jordan's mom a person of interest, and they do say she is cooperating with police, helping to develop that sketch of the possible suspect. It's the man who Jordan's mom says attacked her and possibly kidnapped her son. Jordan's grandmother says the family is trying to stay positive, she tells us, hoping, of course, that Jordan comes home safely soon.
Devastation, complete devastation. Our family's hurting, and we want them back.
Now, it's not just that sketch that we want you to look out for. It's also the vehicle that this man who went by the name Antoine was driving, a white Toyota Camry. It is the vehicle that Jordan's mom says she got into to get a ride when she was walking with her son Saturday night.
Keep in mind, the mother also gave that particular description. Here's the next one. This is still part 1. There are 2 parts to the story.
An Amber Alert activated for this Largo boy.
His mother tells police her 2-year-old son was kidnapped by a stranger. Now officers are asking for your help to find him.
Let's go to ABC Action News reporter Adam Weiner. He is live for us at the family's Largo home right now, where police are also investigating. Adam.
Good morning there. Yeah, authorities know one thing for sure. Jordan is missing, and you can see behind me they have the family's apartment blocked off by police tape as they look for evidence here and elsewhere. The boy's mother says a stranger kidnapped her little 2-year-old son, Jordan Belliveau. Police issuing the Amber Alert over the weekend. The boy's mother says she accepted a ride Saturday from the stranger, the man picking her and Jordan up as they were walking home along East Bay Drive right near their home. Now, she says she was perhaps knocked unconscious and hours later woke up in a local park with her son gone, and she immediately contacted police.
I want you guys to keep note of all of these things in the story, because I'm not going to... Thank you. FBLM said, it does sound a little fishy, don't it? Keep in mind. Let's keep going.
All parents should take
When's the last time that you... Never mind. Let's keep going.
good care of their child and make sure that they're not talking to strangers. Do we feel that there's a significant threat to the community at this point? No.
Now, according to the mom, the man is 25 years old and goes by the name Antoine. He was driving a white Toyota Camry at the time.
An Amber.
I want you guys to think about this. The mother gave the description of the man. She gave the description of the car, which was a stock photo that they showed. She gave description about the things that were in the car. And now additional information being added that she even said that he was around the age of 25. Okay? Just keep that in mind.
It sounds like you guys had some tips because of the Amber Alert that went out. Can you talk about the nature of some of the calls that you're getting?
Yeah, unfortunately, our description of our suspected offender and even the sketch that we released yesterday has not necessarily produced any tips of really any specific nature. We do get a lot of tips of maybe this vehicle and maybe somebody kind of matches the description, somebody named Antoine. Although we appreciate the tips, we're still hoping for that one, as I said yesterday, that one big break that's going to give us that step forward. We just haven't received that tip yet. But I do want to thank the public that since our press release at 4 o'clock yesterday, we have our number of tips have gone up significantly. I think over into the 60 to 70 tips, which is almost double in less than 24 hours. So
there's a lot of social media chatter about families saying that this what may have happened, and suspecting the worst happened, and the relative may have done this with the little boy. Have any of those leads panned out? Any of those tips panned out to something yet?
No, nothing's panned out.
Thank you, Beverly. Beverly caught that. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to question, and this is why I don't mind people having questions, because I think questions should always have logical answers, right? Thank you, Rick Rooster. I appreciate what you said, too. I like that. I like that. Beverly said taking a ride from a stranger. Not likely, but hey, maybe she did. I don't know.
Blessedly, we don't want it to be found. But again, like I said yesterday, we're going to use our due diligence in order to find Jordan. As of right now, we have what is standard in cases like this. We have a dual-pronged investigation going. We have an investigation that is looking at everything that is being given to us, everything that's being reported to us.
Okay, look, all right, look, I'm done with this. Let me go ahead and give you guys the damn story. All right, you guys ready to hear the story? Because look, that thing goes for like 6 minutes, and I don't really want you guys to have to sit and suffer through that for 6 whole minutes of listening to an investigation. I want you guys to really, really, really know what is cracking. So here we go. The mother of the 2-year-old Largo boy, who was at the center of the statewide Amber Alert, has been charged with murder in the death of her son. If you guys did not catch that from the photos earlier. officers arrested 21-year-old Sharice Stinson and charged her with first-degree murder in the death of that little boy right there, Jordan Belliveau. On Wednesday, a judge ordered her to be held without bond. Stinson will also be appointed to a public defender cause she broke. Jordan was found dead in a wooded area of Lake Avenue and McMullen Road in Largo on Tuesday afternoon. According to an arrest affidavit written by Largo police, Stinson admitted to causing the death of her son, that beautiful little boy right there. Guys, there is much more coming about this story. You guys might be wondering a few things. I'm getting ready to tell you a lot of things about this story because that's not even the juiciest part of the story. It is definitely the core, but there is more that rhymed. The report alleges Stinson, in a moment of frustration, struck Jordan in the face with the back of her hand, which in turn caused the back of his head to strike and hit an interior wall of her home. After the blow to the head, the victim suffered seizures during the night, which led to further decline in his health, resulting in his death. I want you guys to take a look at that picture. Remember that picture that just scrolled across, okay? The report goes on to state that Stinson did not seek medical help, but rather took her son to a wooded area and left him to die. AP asks, who's the white couple? Wait, she was white? No. Hold on, guys. Just hold your horses. That's the mother right there that was in the orange jumpsuit. She's already been arrested. She's the mother. The father is a curly-haired, light-skinned dude. They're both black, okay? The kid is black. He might be a little mixed because now what I want you guys to keep in mind is this portion of these people that are holding the baby with these pictures. I'm going to tell you who these people are here in just a moment. Now, according to police, initially Stinson told them she was walking on East Bay Drive with Jordan around 9:30 p.m. Saturday when they were offered a ride in a white Toyota Camry by someone they did not know who told them his name was Antoine. Okay? Now, another pertinent question for me would have been to ask, well, where the hell were y'all going that y'all needed a ride? But I don't know that they've even asked that question, okay? Now, I notice it's lagging a little bit. Let me close some of these windows I have up here because we are lagging just a little bit. Oh, I got 2 chats up. Which one is the real chat? I don't know. That sucks. Okay, that's not the real chat. Okay, there we go. Now I got the real chat. Yes, thank you, Asia. Asia caught that. Now, here we go. Then she told police that once inside the car, quote unquote, Antoine struck her in the face multiple times, causing her to lose consciousness. She claimed that she didn't regain consciousness until around 1:30 a.m. Sunday when she awoke in a wooded area at Largo Central Park to find Jordan missing. During a news conference on Wednesday, investigators say they no longer believe there was an Antoine, nor are they looking for a white Toyota Camry. In addition, they believe Stinson's injuries were self-inflicted. Her story prompted a statewide Amber Alert. Investigators even released a composite sketch of the alleged suspect based on Stinson's description. Now, what if there's somebody that actually looks like the gentleman that she described? I want you guys to put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. When asked why she took a ride from Antoine, Stinson told police it was because Jordan was kind of heavy and she didn't want to have to carry him all the way to her destination. Me, I want to know where the destination was. I didn't get an answer to that question. Let's keep going. As the search for Jordan continued, ABC Action News learned authorities were at the Stinson's apartment on Sunday picking up evidence and trying to determine when the last time Jordan was there. Police later told ABC News they discovered the bloody children's items inside of the apartment, which we already know that. Now, on Monday, they took the items into evidence, but said that they were not certain if they were connected to Jordan's disappearance. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and continue to show you guys the rest of the videos. Of course, I've already told you guys the fair use, so we're not going to do that again. Here's the next part of the story. This is going to start part 2, I believe.
But first this morning at 9, the search is on right now for this 2-year-old that you...
Nope, not that. Next one. Here we go, I think.
There's a map showing where that boy was found, where he was last seen there reportedly, as well as his mother's apartment right in this area here where detectives took evidence from late last night. ABC Action News reporter Julie Salomon just spoke to the boy's uncle and joins us live with reaction tonight. Julie?
He told us the boy's mother, he didn't know that the boy's mother had been arrested until we told him. Now, Largo police had this entire area roped off with yellow crime scene tape. They have cleared the area. The boy's body discovered in a wooded area. He had likely been there for days. Tonight, a statewide Amber Alert issued over the weekend, canceled after Largo police discovered the body of 2-year-old Jordan Belliveau. I spoke to his uncle tonight because his father was too distraught.
My brother, I can't really speak on how my brother feels because I never lost a child. But I just know my brother devastated right now.
Largo police releasing little details, only saying the boy's body was found in a wooded area east of Lake Avenue and McMullen Road. Police tape surrounds an area near a baseball field.
And I just want my nephew to be laid in peace, and his mama and whoever else was involved with this justice.
Oh God, have peace in their minds and peace in their hearts, oh God.
A community grieving tonight, heartbroken over how this ended. Divers searched retention ponds yesterday. Officers searched street by street.
That show was a lot of women. Did you guys notice that? I'm going to rewind that for you just a hair. Notice how many women are out there. Notice how many fathers are not out there.
Peace in their minds and peace in their hearts, oh God.
A community grieving tonight.
Right there.
Heartbroken.
Right there. Now, it could just be the fact that, you know, there are more women out there than men, but still, this is a thing that we talk about all the time. This is a common occurrence, something we talk about all the time. Initially, you saw about 3 or 4 dudes or 5 dudes. In this photo, you see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 15 or 16 women just in that shot right there. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Over how this ended. Divers searched retention ponds yesterday. Officers searched street by street, some climbing into dumpsters, looking for any signs of the missing toddler.
I was so overwhelmed when I heard that something might have happened. Like, I was overwhelmed.
Y'all notice all the women.
Tonight, several ladies gathered at the crime scene. They told us they used to live with the boy's mother, who police have now arrested.
Wake up and cry in the middle of the night over a child that's not yours. Thinking about where this child was.
All right, now you guys have heard that update. She's been arrested. Let's go ahead and give you more of this story. Let's keep going.
News: a little boy's alleged killer is caught. Police arresting his own mother days after he went missing. Tonight, detectives are collecting evidence as police move forward with murder charges.
Good evening, everyone. As we come on the air, that 2-year-old child's mother is being processed at jail.
She was...
Shat the guy, you got to hold on, brother. We're getting there. You got to be patient. Be patient.
Put in handcuffs minutes after his remains were found in a wooded area in Largo. This is one of the last pictures taken of 2-year-old Jordan Belliveau before an Amber Alert went out over the weekend.
ABC Action News is live with team coverage on the arrest and reaction from the boy's family. Ryan Smith is live right outside the jail where we just heard from police. Ryan?
That's right, and the police chief here in Largo, very brief in his comments tonight, saying his agency is extremely difficult and emotional time right now for them, then immediately announcing the arrest of this woman, 21-year-old Cherise Stinson. This is a previous mugshot from earlier this year of a Stinson arrest. Jordan's mother tonight, now charged with first-degree murder. 2-year-old Jordan was at the center of a statewide Amber Alert after...
I want you guys to think about how serious first-degree murder is. Think about the fact that they're charging her with first-degree murder. How many times have we talked about a mother that has actually murdered her kid and they felt like they weren't going to have enough evidence to try to charge her with first-degree murder, and they end up charging her with something a lot less? Second-degree, third-degree, manslaughter, something other than first-degree. I want you guys to think about that. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that point another time.
Stinson reported her son missing on Saturday. telling police she accepted a ride from a stranger, was knocked out, and when she woke up, her son was gone. Digging into court documents tonight, we've learned Stinson and Jordan's father have a history of domestic battery. A Largo arrest report from July says she refused to take custody of Jordan, and for that, his father beat her. Now tonight, investigators are not...
Oh my God. That doesn't even make any sense. She refused custody, so the father beat her up? Like, does that even make any sense? Listen to that again.
Have a history of domestic battery. A Largo arrest report from July says she refused to take custody of Jordan, and for that, his father beat her.
That doesn't even make any sense. Come on, man. Come on, man. I want you guys to think about this. First of all, why would the mother refuse custody when apparently they don't live together and they can't live together apparently, right? And it's time for them to make the exchange, which I'm assuming they probably already had that worked out in family court. She's supposed to take the kid. Why did she not take the kid? And if she didn't take the kid, why would he beat her? What? Come on, man. That makes no sense. I know the majority of fathers that I know, even bad fathers, if they have custody of their kid, and if you meet up with somebody and they say, I don't want custody of this kid, I'm not ready right now, then most fathers be like, pfft, and I'm about to be on my way. Because there is no father that likes to be on child support, and most fathers would agree with me on this, that if we get a chance to take custody of that kid, we'll take custody of that kid just to get off child support. Tell you guys that right now. So you guys tell me if I'm lying about that.
Now tonight, investigators are not releasing any information about the previously reported person of interest.
And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So think about if she may have met some dude with that description. What do you think that police might have done to him if they would have caught this person that didn't do anything? He didn't have nothing to do with this. She just made this lie up and made a lie against a dude that potentially could fit that description. What do you think police might have done while they were looking for this little 2-year-old boy? And supposedly hit a woman? Something else to think about.
Do expect much more information coming to us from Largo Police first thing tomorrow. Live in Largo, Ryan Smith, ABC Action News.
Ryan, thank you. And here is a map showing where that boy was found, where he was last seen there reportedly, as well as his mother's apartment right in this area here where detectives took evidence from late last night. ABC Action News reporter Julie Salomon just spoke to the boy's uncle and joins us live with.
All right, we've already seen the talk with the uncle. We're not going to go back with that again. Let me go ahead and show you guys the next video. I want you guys to listen real close to this one.
We have some breaking new developments this morning in the case of that toddler who had been at the center of an Amber Alert. We are now hearing that his mother admitted to beating him.
Let's go to ABC Action News anchor Lauren St. Germain. She joins us now live from the Pinellas County Jail where that mother is being held this morning. And Lauren, break down what you've just recently learned about what led up to this.
Yeah, James and Dio, we just got this arrest affidavit within the past hour. There are some really disturbing details in this paperwork. We're going to break it down for you, but important to note that this woman is now being charged with first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. So take a look at your screen right now. We've kind of made a timeline of events that we've learned from this affidavit. So first of all,
So there's the information right there. She admits to hitting her son. She admits that her son's head hit the wall. He suffered a seizure. She hid the body of the boy where he ended up being found.
Reese admitted that she hit her 2-year-old son, Jordan, in the face. This caused him to hit the back of his head on a wall in her apartment.
Keep in mind, guys, this ain't no big old boy. This ain't a heavy kid. This is a 2-year-old. 24 months, give or take, 2-year-old. A 2-year-old gets hit by a grown woman probably at full force, in the face so hard that he slammed his head into a wall. For the life of me, I will never understand how it's okay for a woman to put her hands on anybody and everybody, as long as they don't die. A woman can hit a man. A woman can hit a kid. A woman can hit a police officer. A woman can hit a store clerk. A woman can hit other women. And generally, nothing happens unless somebody dies. That is the only time I have seen women be reprimanded for putting their hands, feet, and other objects on someone else. Facts. So let's just say a woman does that to a man. A man would be considered the person in the wrong if he chose to defend himself and eliminate a threat. The man would be in the wrong. My question is always the most pertinent, I like to say pertinent question is why? Why is the man always held to a standard and women aren't? What that does is that breeds a level of irresponsibility and zilch, no accountability. Let's keep going.
Affidavit goes on to say that the boy suffered seizures that night, and authorities say Sharice carried him to the woods and left him there. When authorities found him, he did have visible injuries matching exactly what Sharice had admitted to and that we are learning about in this paperwork. We're also digging into the past of Sharice Stinson.
I like what Dre the Great said. He said people should be required to get a license to start a family. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. The way we're going is not working. If we're not going to get this correct and have a nuclear family the way that we're supposed to, mother and father in the home, then we need to do something else. Because the way we're going is not working, and we cannot continue to keep allowing these children to suffer.
And Jordan's father. An arrest report from July says she refused to take custody of Jordan, and for that, his father beat her. We know Sharice is in the jail this morning. She will be having her first appearance at some point this afternoon. We're also expecting to learn more information from Largo Police this morning and get some more questions answered. As soon as we learn all of that, we'll bring it to you on our free ABC Action News mobile app. For now, reporting live in Pinellas County, I'm Lauren St. Germain for ABC Action News.
Thank you, Lauren. Jordan's murder is the top story right now on our ABC Action.
I don't know if I got to that part yet. Let me see if it's on here.
If you want to shock when the people on TV say, you're going to stand up and raise your right hand against
I did hear that she's pregnant. I don't know if that's a fact or not. That part I can't say just yet, but I think that's a fact. But I don't know yet, though.
All rise.
Raise your right hand.
You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help God.
Answer up loud.
Yes.
Put your hand down.
Good afternoon. You can be seated. Good afternoon, Ms. Stinson. This is your advisory or first appearance hearing. I'll advise you of the charges against you and the amount of your bond. If you can't afford to hire a street lawyer, I will be happy to consider appointing the public defender for you. And I will find probable cause on everything, Madam Clerk, unless I say otherwise. And Mr. Brandt, you'll help me with prior record.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are charged, ma'am, with both aggravated child abuse and murder in the first degree. It's a capital felony underlying charge of aggravated child abuse. Did you want me to read you more of the details, or do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand.
All right. Can you afford to hire a street lawyer? Would you like for me to consider appointing the public defender for you?
Public defender.
Okay. Do you have any?
Yes, guys, she is pregnant. I see it too. Yeah, street lawyer. I've never heard of that terminology. I've been in the courts before. I've never heard of that terminology either. But as you guys can see, Tommy refers to these BT 1100s, these creatures, these machines. Look at her stomach. She's pregnant. Her son is 2 years or was 2 years old. Statistics say that most women that have their first kid will have their second kid within a 24-month span. Usually after the first one, you'll have the second one within 2 years. That's literally the statistic, and she's proving that right now.
Savings, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
You own your own home?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
She just lied again because she lived in an apartment. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Do you own your own home? She said yes, no, of course not.
Go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay. Miss Fugate, is this yours?
It's Mr. Boland's, Your Honor. I'm handling it for him today.
Okay. And does Miss Stinson have any prior record?
She has only no info cases, Your Honor, in 2017, violation of injunction, domestic battery, and resisting without all no infos.
Okay. On the aggravated child abuse,
she has an extensive record. I don't know if you guys heard that. Just look her record up. Sharice Stinson. CHARISSE Stinson. STINSON. Very extensive record.
I do think I need to set a bond on the first-degree murder. I'm happy to leave it at no bond. Is there any suggestion?
0 bond. Good job to the judge. They're charging her with first-degree murder. Good job.
Your Honor, we would ask for $1 million bond on that count.
On the aggravated child abuse?
Yes, Your Honor.
Her defense, as of right now, is asking for $1 million bond. Why give her a bond at all? But they're asking for $1 million bond. Let's hear what they have to say.
Ma'am, do you have any savings at all?
No, ma'am.
0 savings.
All right. I'm going on the aggravated child abuse. I'll set the bond at $500,000.
They dropped the bond to $500,000 because she's broke. Get the freak out of here.
On the murder, it'll stay no bond.
Okay, so that was on the child abuse. So on the murder charge, no bond. Okay, I was about to get mad for a second. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Stinson. The public defender will be speaking with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we're finished there. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wow. Wow. Dude, that is like, thank you. I like that sign there at the end. That was actually pretty dope. So whoever put that together, that actually was pretty cool. But anyway, here we go. Digging into court documents, they discovered that Stinson and Jordan's father had a history of domestic violence. I don't know who did what to who, but a Largo arrest report from July stated that Jordan's father drove the boy to Stinson's home to exchange custody of Jordan. According to the report, Stinson did not want the child yet, which caused an argument that somehow became physical. So that part about the physicality, I'm not going to even say that again because we don't even know how true that is or it's not true. But the Department of Children and Families could not release any information on the case, saying, in part, the loss of this child is profoundly saddening. We're actively working with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and the Largo Police Department. During the course of their criminal investigation, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office conducts all child protective investigations and Pinellas County, not DCF. So that's where we are at this point. And here is my last little bit of 2 cents. All right. This is part of the reason why I feel like maybe we should go in the direction of, you know, potentially having to earn the right to have children, because the way that we're going is not a good way. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. Whenever I'm gonna see if I can get. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get to that picture real quick. Actually, dadgummit, that was it right there. Let me go back. Right here. This family right here. I'm gonna throw something out there to you guys that you guys may not know. You know who this is? You know who that man and that woman is? That man and that woman had temporarily had this child in foster care. These were the foster parents. I'm going to say that again. These were the foster parents for a short amount of time. So what that means is that that child was taken out of their custody and released back to the mother, because once they get to a point to where they feel like the mother can handle the responsibilities of having a child, then generally they will work them back into the system to be able to get their kid back. They should have the right to be able to earn their kid back. That I do agree with, but I want you guys to answer me this as the last question before we wrap this thing up tonight. Was it better that this child be in the mother and father's custody, which is more or less a rhetorical question? Or would this child, little bitty 2-year-old, brown hair, brown eye, Jordan Belliveau, be in better hands with this family that you guys see on my screen right now? They do look very happy. He could be alive today if they would have just left him in their care, and they seem to give a crap. I can't tell you guys how many times I've walked through the grocery store, you know, wherever I'm at, and I see these white parents and they have these black kids. You can clearly tell that these kids are not theirs. They have adopted these kids. And you know what? More times than none, you have seen these kids turn into something very positive. Now, how can Just Jay speak on this? Because guess what? Just Jay is also familiar with DHS. The reason I'm familiar with DHS is because my parents used to be foster parents. They were parents in the foster care system before they had me. So they were keeping foster kids before I was even in existence, and I was the oldest in the family. So shout out to my big sister. I call Paula my big sister because of the fact that you know, because one of the first foster kids that I remember us having when I was around, when I was born, was I remember my big sister Paula. And I have very fond, vivid memories of every foster kid that we kept. And believe me, my mother and father kept a lot of them. I keep in touch with a lot of them. I am very familiar with how these systems work, with social services, with visits, with respite, with adoption, and all of this stuff. Very familiar. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Usually, the child is better left, or at least a little bit safer, while they're actually not placed in a home. If they're just kept at the facility before they're placed in a home, they're at least safe. They're at least fed. But if they're placed in a home, more times than none, they are safer in those homes than they are with the parents who had those children taken from the jump. And this little boy could be alive if he were allowed to if he would have been allowed to stay with this family right here. And it sucks that, you know, just another one falls through the cracks. You know, he seemed like a beautiful, happy little boy. I don't know what would possess. Can you guys think of anything that a 2-year-old could do to make you that pissed off at it? That you would punch him so hard in the face that you kill him? It's a 2-year-old. It's a baby. I don't know. Like, babies are still learning. even the ones that they consider bad babies, bad kids, ain't even really like on that level. They might work your nerves a little bit. They might cry a lot. They might be demanding on attention, but that's what children give you. They give you a lot of uniqueness. They're their own type of person, and you have to care enough in this world that when you bring a child into this world, that you have to understand the risk that you might have a child that might develop in one way, might develop in another way, might have this characteristic, might have that characteristic, might not be potty trained as fast as others, might not learn as fast as others, might have some birth defects, might have some developmental disabilities. There are a slew of possibilities. Even when it comes to a child having some rare medical disease that might cost you a shit ton of money. These things happen. So as parents, before you decide to bring a child into this world, you have to consider those things and say, do I really want to bring a kid into this world? Because having sex is an option. It ain't something we have to do. Getting pregnant is an option. It's not something we have to do. Going through with the pregnancy is an option. It's not something you have to do. Keeping the kid, getting upset with the kid, and putting your hands on that kid is an option. It is not something you have to do. You're not forced to do anything. We all should be held accountable for our actions. There are benefits to be reaped and rewarded whenever you do it right. And there are consequences whenever you do it wrong. And I hope that if they're going to put anybody on death row, shout out to my guy, Julius Jones. I'm going to OKC to make sure to go check on my brother. So you guys stay tuned for that. I'm going to see if they're going to let me live stream from the courtroom. I don't know what they're going to let me do. But if they're going to put anybody on death row, they need to take and put people on death row that are taking advantage and killing children, especially when they are the sole primary care providers of those children. That is my personal opinion. I'm just saying.